Welcome to Canada, 2024. The land of maple syrup, polite people, and $37 chicken breasts. Remember when you could walk into a grocery store with $100 and walk out with enough food to feed a family for a week? Yeah, me neither. That feels like a fever dream from a past life. Now, you walk into a Loblaws with $100, and you walk out with a bag of milk, a loaf of bread, and a deep sense of existential dread. But don't worry, guys. According to the corporate press releases, everything is fine. It's just inflation. It's just supply chains. It's definitely not the fact that a handful of billionaires have turned your survival into their record-breaking bonus checks. Today, we are diving deep into the Loblaws Food Price Scandal. We aren't just looking at the price tags, we are following the money. And spoiler alert, the money isn't going to the farmers. It's going straight to the castle on top of the hill. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or rather, the man in the yellow sweater.
We are very excited about the future of our company.
Galen Weston Jr.
Okay.
For years, Galen was the friendly face of Loblaws. He was on your TV, walking through lush fields, telling you about his decadent chocolate chip cookies and how much he cares about your dinner table. He played the role of the benevolent food lord perfectly. He was like the Willy Wonka of grocery stores, except instead of a golden ticket, he gave you price gouging and a PC Optimum card that never seems to actually save you any real money. But recently, that friendly mask has slipped. Here is the reality. Canada's grocery market is what economists call an oligopoly.
Money
That's
trail
a fancy word for
bypasses
five
farmers.
companies in a trench coat pretending to be a competitive market. Loblaws, Empire, that's Sobeys, and Metro control almost everything you eat. But Loblaws? They are the kingpin. They own No Frills, Real Canadian Superstore, Shoppers Drug Mart, T&T, Zehrs. Roughly 30% of the entire market. When you control that much of the food supply, you don't just set prices. You dictate survival. It's honestly impressive, and Galen Weston has achieved the impossible. He's united the entire country of Canada. Liberals, conservatives, NDP voters. Everyone agrees on one thing. We all hate paying $2.90 for a brick of butter that tastes like disappointment. The man asked for a raise while his customers were skipping meals. That takes a level of confidence usually reserved for Batman villains. But let's strip away the jokes for a second. Because for millions of Canadians, this isn't funny. It's terrifying. I want you to think about the last time you stood at the checkout counter. Ofitito, that moment when the cashier scans the last item, and you stare at the screen, praying your card doesn't decline. You scan the receipt, confused. Wait, I didn't buy steak. I didn't buy wine. Why is this bill $250? We're seeing seniors in this country.
Could you
People
spare
who
a
built
raise?
This economy,
Costs are
standing
up.
in the produce aisle, deciding between buying fresh fruit or paying their heating bill. We are seeing students
The
relying on
linked chain
food banks in
icon
record numbers.
symbolizes connection.
And while you are tightening your belt so tight you can barely breathe, let's look at what Loblaws is doing. If you think I'm being paranoid, let me remind you of history. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a criminal record. Remember the bread price fixing scandal? For 14 years, Canada's major grocers admitted to coordinating the price of bread. They artificially inflated the cost of the most basic human staple to squeeze a few extra cents out of every single loaf. They stole from your grandmother's sandwich. They stole from your kid's toast.
Oh no.
When they got caught, what did they do? Loblaws offered us a $25 gift card. Tone, dry, deadpan,
Is
20,
this really happening?
5,
Yes, it is.
And you have
How
to
can we
sign
make
away
it
your
stop?
right to sue them to get it. That's not an apology. That's a hush payment. And guess where you had to spend that gift card? Right back at Loblaws. It's the perfect crime. So, they fixed the price of bread. We know that. But now, they claim they aren't fixing the price of everything else. They claim their profits are razor thin. They say, oh, we only make $1 on every $25 grocery basket. Is that true? Or is that the most sophisticated accounting magic trick ever performed? In the next part, we are going to open the books. We are going to look at the greedflation numbers that they don't want you to see. Because if they are barely making a profit, then how did Loblaws' profits surge by 30% while your bank account dropped to 0? Get your calculators ready, because the math... It smells fishier than the discount seafood counter at No Frills. We established that grocery shopping in Canada has become an extreme sport for your wallet. Now, let's look at the excuse. Whenever anyone, the media, the politicians, or angry Reddit users ask Loblaws why prices are so high, they always give the same answer. It's their favorite line. They recite it like a religious mantra. We are barely making any money. Our profit margins are razor thin. We only make about $1 on every $25 basket of groceries. Let's pause right there.
They're
That statement is
conspiring.
technically true on a spreadsheet, but in reality, it is a masterpiece of gaslighting. Fact, and the real estate hustle. Here's the trick they don't want you to know. Loblaws isn't just a grocery store. It's a real estate empire disguised as a supermarket. See? A huge chunk of Loblaws locations are owned by a company called Choice Properties REI. Guess who owns the majority of Choice Properties REI? Oh, look at that! It's George Weston Limited, the parent company of Loblaws. So, when Loblaws says, oh no, our expenses are so high, we have to pay rent. They're often writing that rent check to themselves. They take money from their left pocket at the grocery store and put it into their right pocket in the real estate company. Then they turn to you, point to the empty left pocket, and say, see? We're broke. That's why we have to charge you $9 for strawberries. This brings us to the word of the year. Greedflation. While you were canceling your Netflix subscription to afford cheddar cheese, Loblaws was posting record-breaking profits. Not revenue, it's a deal profits. In 2022 alone, Loblaws' profits surged by roughly 30%. In Q1 of 2024, while food inflation was supposedly stabilizing, their profits hit $459 million in a single quarter. If their costs are going up just as much as prices, their profit margin should stay the same, right? That's how math works. But their profits are skyrocketing like a SpaceX rocket, except unlike Elon's rockets, these ones don't explode, they just land safely in the Cayman Islands. It's gotten so bad that No Name, the yellow brand that is supposed to be the cheap option for struggling families, has become a meme. When the generic, budget-friendly can of beans costs more than the premium brand used to cost 3 years ago, you know the system is broken. We are at the point where buying President's Choice feels like buying a Gucci handbag. So, if they are making all this extra cash, surely they are using it to lower prices, right? Or maybe pay their workers a living wage. No, of course not. They're doing something called stock buybacks. Here's the simplified version. Loblaws takes the extra profit they made from overcharging you for pasta sauce, and they use it to buy their own shares off the stock market. This reduces the number of shares available, which artificially inflates the value of the remaining shares. Who benefits from this? The shareholders. And who is the biggest shareholder? The Weston family. This is the part that should make you angry. It's not just that food is expensive. It's that there is a direct transfer of wealth happening every time you tap your card. They are taking the extra $20 you didn't have, the money meant for your kid's field trip or your retirement savings, and they are funneling it directly into the stock portfolio of one of Canada's richest families. When a student eats instant noodles for the 5th night in a
Where
row
did the
because
extra
they can't
money
afford
go?
vegetables, and the company selling those noodles is spending hundreds of millions to boost their stock price. That is not inflation. That is extraction. But I hear you ask, if Loblaws is so expensive, why not just shop somewhere else? Great question. Where? Sobeys? Owned by Empire, doing the same thing. Metro? Doing the same thing. Walmart? American Giant, doing the same thing. In Canada, we have the illusion of choice. You walk down the cereal aisle and see 50 different boxes, but the money all flows up to the same 3 boardrooms. They don't need to compete for your business because they know you have to eat. You're a captive audience in a hunger-based hostage situation. But something changed. Canadians, usually the most polite people on Earth, finally snapped. It started with a Reddit group, then it became a hashtag, and then it became a movement that actually terrified the corporate giants. In the final part, we're going to talk about the boycott, how a group of internet strangers organized the biggest consumer rebellion in Canadian history, and whether we can actually win against a billionaire. Put down the overpriced avocado. We're going to war. Welcome to the endgame. For decades, Canadian grocery giants operated on a simple assumption. People have to eat, so they have to pay whatever we ask. They thought they were untouchable. They thought we were too polite, too tired, and too busy to fight back. They were wrong. It didn't start in Parliament. It didn't start in the newsrooms. It started in the darkest corner of the internet. Reddit. A subreddit called Are Loblaws is out of control began as a place to vent. People posted photos of 6 toiling watermelons and $37 chicken breasts. But then, something incredible happened. It stopped being just a complaint box and turned into a war room. Tens of thousands of Canadians organized a nationwide boycott in May 2024. The message was simple. Steal from us, and we stop shopping with you. And how did Loblaws react to this public relations disaster? Did they lower prices? Did they apologize? No! They decided to turn their stores into maximum security prisons. They installed plexiglass barriers at the exits. They hired security guards to check your receipts like you're trying to smuggle diamonds out of a jewelry store. Laughs. There is nothing quite like being treated like a criminal while you're
We
holding
want
a
to
bag
assure
of
everyone
overpriced
that we are
frozen
doing
peas.
everything we can.
It's the Loblaws customer service guarantee. Pay us everything you have, and we'll still suspect you of stealing. But here's the twist. The boycott worked. Not because it bankrupted them overnight. Loblaws is too big to fail in a month. But because it shattered their image. For the first time in history, the man in yellow wasn't seen as a friendly neighbor. He was seen as a symbol of corporate greed. The boycott forced Loblaws to panic. They flooded the media with defensive statements. They tried to sign a grocery code of conduct that they had been fighting against for years. Why? Because they realized that their brand value is plummeting faster than a rotting
Hello,
avocado.
neighbor.
Hello.
But the real victory wasn't hurting Loblaws. It was healing our community. During the boycott, people rediscovered local grocers. They found small, family-owned fruit stands. They went to independent butchers. We realized that we do have a choice. We realized that supporting a local business keeps money in our neighborhood, instead of sending it to a billionaire's yacht fund. We stopped being
Sigh.
consumers and started being citizens. So, where do we go from here? The prices are still high. The oligopoly is still in charge. The government is still moving slower than a checkout line on Sunday morning. The sad truth is, the government isn't coming to save you. The grocery rebate checks were a band-aid on a bullet wound. The Competition Bureau is trying, but they are bringing a knife to a gunfight. The only people who can fix this is us. If we go back to sleep, if we go back to blindly tapping our cards because it's convenient, then Galen wins. He'll probably release a new line of decadent gold flake tears cookies, made from our collective sadness. The Loblaws scandal isn't just about food. It's about a system that is designed to extract maximum wealth from the working class to protect the asset class. But they forgot one thing. The market only exists because we participate in it. Every dollar you spend is a vote. Every time you buy from a local farmer, you're voting against the monopoly. Every time you choose a discount competitor, you're voting against greed. They have the money, but we have the numbers. Stay angry. Stay loud. And for the love of maple syrup, stop buying the $12 on the butter. I'm Loonie Logic, and this was the true cost of your groceries. If this video made you mad, good. Use that anger. Share this video so everyone knows the truth. Hit that subscribe button because we are going after the telecom giants next.